Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to another tale. Well, this isn't so much of a tale as it is a poem, and it's definitely my favorite poem. It is from Edgar Allan Poe. Yes, and it is called The Raven. So sit back, enjoy a horn of mead, relax by the fire, smash that subscribe button, and enjoy. Let's get into it. The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered weak and weary o'er many a quaint curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of someone gently rapping on my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, tapping at my chamber door, "only this, and nothing more." Oh, decency, I remember it was a bleak December, and each separate dying ember wrought its ghostly upon the floor. Eagerly I wished the morrow. Vainly I had sought to borrow from my books surcreased of sorrow for the lost Lenore, for the rare and radiant maiden whom the angels named Lenore, nameless here forevermore. And the silken, sad, uncertain rustling of each purple curtain thrilled me, filled me with a fantastic terrors never felt before, so that now, to still the beating of my heart, I stood repeating, "'Tis some visitor entering my entrance of my chamber door, some late visitor entering entrance at my chamber door. 'Tis it is nothing more." Presently my soul grew stronger, hastening and then no longer. "Sir," said I, "or madam, truly your forgiveness I implore, but the fact is I was napping, and so gently you came rapping, and so faintly you came tapping at my chamber door, that I scarce was sure I heard you. Here, I opened wide the door, darkness there, and nothing more. Deep into the darkness peering, long I stood there wandering, fearing, doubting, dreaming dreams nor mortal ever dared to dream before, but in silence was unbroken, and the stillness gave no token, and the only word there spoken was the whispered word, Lenore. This I whispered, and an echo murmured back the word, Lenore. Merely this and nothing more. Back into the chamber turning, all my soul within me burning, soon again I heard a tapping, somewhat louder than before. "Surely," said I, "surely that there's something at my window lattice. Let me see then what threat is, and this mystery explore. Let my heart be still a moment, and this mystery explore. 'Tis the wind and nothing more." Open here I flung the shutter, when with many a flirt and flutter, in there stepped a stately raven of the slately days of yore. Not the least the obedience made he, not a minute stopped or stayed he, but when the mien of lord or lady perched above my chamber door, perched upon the bust of Phallus just above my chamber door, perched and sat, and nothing more. Then this ebony bird begundled my sad fancy into smiling. By the grave and stern doctrine of the countenance it wore, Through thy crest be shone, thou shaven thou, I said. Art sure no craven, ghastly grim and ancient raving, wandering from nightly shore? Tell me, what the lordly name on this night pollution shore? Quote the raven, nevermore. Much I marvel this ungainly fowl to hear discourse so plainly, though its answer little meaning and little reverence bore, for we cannot help agreeing that no living human being ever ere was blessed with seeing a bird above his chamber door, a bird or beast upon the sculpted bust upon his chamber door, with such a name as Nevermore. But the raven, sitting lonely on the placid bust, spoke only that one word of its soul, and that word did outpour. Nothing farther than he uttered, not a feather than he fluttered, till I scarcely more than muttered, other friends have flown before. On the morrow he will leave me, as my hopes have flown before. And then the bird said, nevermore. Startled at the silence broken upon reply, had aptly spoken. Doubtless, said I, what it utters is the only stock and shore caught from some unhappy master, whom unmerciful disaster followed fast and followed faster, till his songs one burden bore, till it digs of his hope that melancholy burden bore of nevermore. But the raven, still begrudging all my fancy into smiling, straight I wheeled cushioned seat in front of bird, and bust on door. Then upon the velvet sinking, I betook myself to linking fancy into fancy, thinking what this ominous bird of yore, what this grim, ungainly, ghastly gaunt of ominous bird of yore meant in croaking nevermore. Now, this I sat engaging, guessing, but not syllable expressing, to the fowl whose fiery eyes now burned into my bosom's core. This and more I sat divining, with my head in ease reclining, on the cushion's velvet lining, and in the lamplight golden over. But those velvet suns lining the lamplight going over, shall I press thee, nevermore. Then methought the air grew denser, perfumed from an unseen censer, swinging by a seraphim whose footfalls tinkled on the truffled floor. Wrench, I called, thy God hath lent thee, by these angels hath sent thee, respite and Neptune from the memories of Lenore. Quaff, oh quaff this kind of Neptune and forget the lost Lenore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still, if a bird or devil, whatever tempter sent, or whether tempest tossed thee here ashore, desolate yet all undertained, on this desert land enchanted, on this home of horror haunted. Tell me truly, I implore, is there balm in Gilead? Tell me, I implore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Be that word our sign of parting, bird or friend, I shrieked upstarting, get thee back into the tempest of the night's pilgrim shore. Leave no black plume as a token of the lie thou soul hast spoken. Leave my loneliness unbroken, quite the burst above my door. Take thy beak from out my heart, and take thee from off my door. Quoth the raven, nevermore. And then the raven, never fitting, still is sitting on the pillar bust of Phallus just above my chamber door, and his eyes have all the seeming of a demon's that is dreaming, and the lamplight o'er him screaming throws his shadow on the floor, and my soul from out that shadow that lies floating on the floor shall be lifted never more.